Oh, what a long night in the forest, but I'm pooped. Yes, I suppose I should be going, and good Lord, what's happening in there? Aurora Borealis. Aurora Borealis, at this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the Stone Age, localized entirely in this forest. Yes. May I see it? No. Out of Darkness was written and directed by Andrew Cumming. Mr. Cumming, you do on set. Oh, Cumming is going. He's upset. Incessant coming and coming and coming. Lol, I'm sorry. I wrote down the notes, and I swore to myself that I was going to be mature. And then I looked at the name, and I can't be. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Mr. Cumming. At least he's not Alan Cummings. There's no pluralization of the massive amount of coming that was taking place. Anyway, Andrew Cumming, mature, along with Ruth Greenberg and Oliver Castman. Yes, 3 people were needed to write this story about, well, there was a time 45,000 years ago. Why are their teeth serrated? Well, there's no modern dentistry, modern medicine, and nothing else to speak of except some barren land and a forest where they're picked up when they're away from the light. And what is going on, only a few people will know. So, yeah, 45,000 years ago in the old Stone Age as opposed to the new Stone Age. It's like new Queens of the Stone Age, or, well, nevertheless. Who likes Queens of the Stone Age? Answers in the comments, please. No Queens of the Stone Age in this. More in the goddamn pity. There's a group of early humans as opposed to late humans. Late humans in the sense they're about to totally expire and turn to dust. They settle on this land, they explore it, and they find out there's some really, really bad shit going on. And they really should have, picked a different particular plot of land. But they are trying to basically set up a new home. Where did they come from? Where did they go? Where did you come from? Cotton Eye Coats. I have no goddamn idea where they came from. We don't really find out that much about the people, except for a little bit of tidbit information. And they speak a language that is referenced on IMDb called Tola. It is loosely based on the language Basque. Du Basque me. We have Odal. I'm going to do my best to pronounce the character names correctly. He's an old man. There is Adam Chukumudu Modu, who is he's kind of the leader, so to speak. We find out a little bit more about that gentleman a little bit later on. Then you have Grrr, who's Kit Young. It's like Brigham Young, except his name is Kit, so it's not at all similar. And then you have a boy named Heron, not the boy and the heron. You have Luna Marvezi. And then you have Sophia Oakley Green as Beyah. Beyah. Yeah, you can tell I'm having a little bit of fun with this. And Abe, or Avenue, Wapadoo, da 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 da. Iola Evans, and there are a few other people in this. I'm not like discounting any of the characters, but nevertheless, turns out that there is some weird shit going on this island the further that they try to explore it. And let's just say that as we find out more about these people, we also find out there really isn't a lot of characterization. It's stripped down, minimalist survival horror, where you basically just have to root for the characters that you care about the most. At least that is what you're supposed to do, but that only helps when there's actual character going on. There's very little basis on the story, and that's fine. You have to be given a reason to care about these characters. And unfortunately, this movie doesn't really do that. This feels like a streaming service movie that got a theatrical release. And you know what? The more money that people can earn from their projects, passion projects, good. Good for them. Good, bad, or indifferent, I'm all for people achieving their dreams. Now, the critical reception on this was pretty goddamn high, and I do see why the critics did praise this. I will talk a little bit about that before I get into spoilers. There is not much really to talk about. A couple little revelations about characters a little bit later on, but there's one reference to the character Beyah, who is referred to as a stray. Apparently she wasn't part of this tribe, part of this group, whatever. Maybe she came from space, for all we goddamn know. And yeah, we find out that there's connections between particular people. There's just enough women where you get the idea that there's a little bit of caveman nookie. And you can take that cookie and put it in the cave. Okay, I'm done. Referencing songs right here. Nevertheless, we discover a little bit more about these characters, and then what is really behind this evil force that is starting to pick them off. I will say it is atmospheric and it is well shot. Those are two positives right there. The acting is what it is. Really not a lot of characterization, or in the case of some, any characterization, and also the twist is pretty goddamn obvious. It relies basically on its technical prowess, despite being stripped down. The camera work, the cool shots, the twisty camera shots, and that kind of stuff. But it doesn't end up amounting to much. It's more of a short film concept that basically just gets stretched out. And I have said that about a lot of horror movies, survival or otherwise. And this is more of the same. I will say this is better than ISS, which was absolute goddamn dog shit. One of the worst fucking movies I've seen in a number of years. This was very, very disappointing. I tend to side more with the reviews that were a little bit more critical of it. There's a good idea here, but it's also something that you've seen before, and it's not like 65. 65 was much, 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 much worse than this, despite having Adam Driver in it, and also a bunch of dinosaurs. Nevertheless, basically it is out in theaters if you want to check it out. It'll probably be out on streaming pretty goddamn soon. But yeah, minimalist horror with some good technical shots, some good landscapes, shot in the Scottish Highlands. By Christ, can you tell? But other than that, there really isn't a lot to go on. Characterization is minimal, and the violence is sort of, kind of, like fine, I guess. But the thing is, you don't have a reason to give a shit. But anyway, even people you're supposed to root for or root against, you just kind of feel like, okay, this person gets picked off. Oh, this person gets picked off. Oh, these two people don't seem like they'll survive till the end, but they probably will. Maybe. Who knows? You don't know. You got to wait till the spoilers. But it is in theaters, and if you want to check out, check it out before it leaves there in a couple weeks, go ahead and do that. Anyway, I'm going to get into spoilers, which really will not take very long. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So, Beyah is pregnant, seemingly by this guy, Adam. And there's Ave or Avenue, And, yeah, Beyah's pregnant. They're basically trying to grow their goddamn family, their colony, with almost, because she's the stray, she's basically being preyed upon. Stray the prey. Odal kind of turns a little bit psycho. They venture into the forest eventually when the son, Heron, gets picked off. And there's something in the beginning about telling a story about, a new land and monsters and evil and stuff like that. And that wraps around at the end. Heron gets taken away and seemingly is presumed dead. They go into the forest, and Adam gets picked off, gets his jaw broken, he gets killed. That was sort of okay. Some of the night scenes are fine, but you do have to also realize that these characters are fucking idiots. I mean, granted, this was 45,000 years ago, so they probably didn't have a lot to go on. I mean, there was no Google. I know, shocking that Google hasn't been around for 45,000 years, even though it has 45,000 years worth of, history on there, if not more. But it comes down to Beyah, this grrr guy. They basically end up doing, hunting down this force, because this force ends up picking off their various people, because their various people kind of go a little bit insane, like after Adam gets killed, or Ave gets offed, and Odal does, because he just totally snaps and assumes she's a demon. Apparently they knew what demons were back at 45,000 years ago. They didn't know how to basically look behind them and see, oh shit, he's right behind me, isn't he? And then it comes down to Beyah, and it comes down to Greer, or whatever the hell his name is. And they find out that the thing that's been hunting them actually are humans that have already been there. Humans that maybe are a little bit older, as far as, caveman-like. They look a little more Cro-Magnon. And then they follow her to their cave, to her cave. It turns out there is a guy there, and it also turns out that the boy Heron is alive. He has been fed because they haven't been able to eat. And then they end up, basically it ends up being down to Beyah and Heron. And Heron basically doesn't understand why they were killed, because the guy that was there, it was a husband and wife, seemingly. They took care of him. They also took of his body to honor her and the child that she was carrying. And Because why the fuck not? Why the hell not? How they got pregnant? Well, when a man and a woman, sort of love each other very much, then the little caveman nookie happens. And when you have to drain the old kings of the Stone Age, let's just move on from that. Basically, you end up with cum magnum instead of Cro-Magnum. I'm just going to move on from this. Yeah, we end up with some violence. The two people in the cave die. Heron's kind of upset. And Beyah's like, well, we just move on and we just do this stuff. And we try to establish a whole new world. A whole new world where, yeah, Aurora Borealis happened at one point. That was a cool shot. I've seen Aurora Borealis twice. One, after I was coming back from a Britney Spears concert about summer of 2000. It was cool. It's also about a 100-degree night. Yeah, atmospheric shots and, some cool visuals aside, this does not get a recommendation. I'm sorry. Yeah, 3 people needed to write this story. Were they all taking, breaks, when they were bored writing the minor details out of this goddamn thing? I'm sorry. I'm glad people get work. I just don't understand why it took 3 people to come up with this. I'm sorry, it gets an F. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.